What if you could sit down with your 70-year-old self and get the best advice about money, time, and life? Well, after working with hundreds of retirees these past 15 years at Martin Wealth, I've essentially done exactly that. And today, I'm sharing the 10 most important pieces of wisdom they wish they could tell their 50-year-old selves. And one of those key insights, number 7, is something that I personally struggle with almost every day. Hey, I'm Jim Martin. I'm the founder of Martin Wealth Solutions. And if you're 50 years or older and starting to think about the next chapter of your life, you're in the right place. I help people just like you build retirement plans, craft tax reduction strategies, and make the most out of their retirement years. So let's dive right in. Wisdom number 1. I want you to understand the 3 key stages of life. And don't miss the magic one because I think it's really important. Here's something that might hit harder than you expect. When 70-year-olds look back over their lives, they see 3 distinct phases that most people never consciously recognize. Stage number 1, your 20s and your 30s. Look, you have the time and you have the health. But money, well, it's tight because you're just building your career. And then we get into stage number 2. Your 40s and 50s. Maybe you're starting a family here. Maybe you started it before. You're making good money. You're still healthy, but time becomes really a scarce resource. You have career demands, family responsibilities. Heck, the soccer games, the softball, they consume almost everything. And then we get into stage 3, your 70s and beyond. You finally have the time and money, but health, well, starts to become a question mark. And here's what most people miss. That magical stage 4. It exists right between stages 2 and 3. It's the sweet spot. It's your late 50s and your 60s where time, health, and money, well, they all align. You have enough financial resources, you have more control over your schedule, and you're still young enough to tackle that hiking trip through Europe or learning something that you've always wanted to learn before. The tragedy? Too many people stay stuck in stage 2 mentality. They constantly delay the adventure because they're too busy. And I don't want you to be you. When people look back, that's a real regret. Wisdom number 2, master the 3 types of time. Speaking of time, here's another pattern I see repeatedly. People in their 50s focus intensely on 2 types of time while completely neglecting the 3rd, and it costs them dearly. Career time. Obviously, this is essential for building wealth and security. Relationship time, friends, family, community connection. This is the one everyone skips, and it's killing the other 2. Here's the reality. Most people live their entire lives for other people, and there's nothing wrong with that. Your career serves clients, customers, your company. Your relationships, they serve other people, friends and family. Sometimes they serve yourself, sure. But when do you serve you? And I don't mean this to be selfish. This is not meant to be selfish. I mean, it's okay to be intentionally protective over your time, doing things that generally energize you. Maybe it's woodworking, tennis, cold plunges. I have one client that rediscovered rock climbing at 55, and now they consider that to be one of the biggest parts of their identity and purpose. You know, it's more important than their career at this point. They're making time for it because they know it's not a forever sport like biking or swimming, which you can do a long time. So what renews you? More importantly, when was the last time you felt zero guilt in prioritizing that? Because if you don't take care of yourself first, how can you effectively show up for your career, your friends, your family, your relationships? So really important. Wisdom number 3, learning the power of saying no. Here's advice that feels almost revolutionary for high achievers. It's okay to say no more often in your 50s. On our podcast, Smart Wealth and Retirement, we actually did an entire episode about the power of saying no. It was one of our most listened to and downloaded shows of all time. Check it out. In the first half of life, saying yes, it opened doors. You built your career, your network, your opportunities by being available and willing. But on the second half, your life just operates differently. Your success now depends more on protecting your time and your energy for what truly matters. This means saying no to social obligations that drain you, work commitments that don't align with your goals, and even opportunities that may have excited you 10 years ago. Look, you've earned the right at this point to be selective about your time. Speaking of time, remember, time is more valuable than even money. That's wisdom number 4. Every client I've met over 70 tells me the exact same thing. Time is infinitely more valuable than money. And here's what I mean by that practically. First, I don't know if you know this, but you can actually buy more time. And you're probably already doing it in some capacity. That oil change you're paying somebody else to do, you just bought back 2 hours of your life. That house cleaner, the landscaper, the meal delivery services, these aren't luxuries. These are investments in saving time. One of our subscribers mentioned hiring somebody to do power washing on their deck instead of spending the entire weekend to do it themselves. The result, they got a weekend back. Plus, they're supporting somebody else's business locally. It's a win-win. Wisdom number 6, don't fall for the status game. That's exactly what author Will Storr calls it, the status game. And it's incredibly common amongst successful people approaching retirement. A client 6 months into retirement, they asked us to run the numbers on their dream car. The financial impact was minimal, so he bought it. 6 months later, when I asked how he liked it, his response was telling, well, the excitement wore off a few weeks after purchasing it. Looking back, maybe I should have just rented it for a month. This isn't about never buying nice things. In fact, it's exactly the opposite. It's about understanding why we want them, and if we want them, making sure we buy things that give us purpose and meaning. Often we buy status symbols for validation, social comparison, identity affirmation, or fear of becoming irrelevant. His advice, rent the experience first. Spend $5,000 on a long-term rental instead of the $250,000 ownership or the $1 million ownership. You might discover the experience is enough, or it might confirm it's completely worth the full investment. Wisdom number 7, stop trying to do everything yourself. This is a struggle that hits real close to home. And it hits close to home because I wrestle with it. It's the DIY trap and the belief that you can do everything yourself, or at least you should do everything yourself. But here's what my 70-year-old clients have taught me. Your time becomes infinitely more valuable as you get older. And I've learned that oil change, which you insist on doing yourself, well, you're trading 2 or 3 hours of your weekend, dirty hands and having to get rid of the oil for saving $30 or $40 when you net it all out. You've got to figure out if that's worth it to you. I have clients who still mow their own grass, and I think that's fantastic. But if you don't like it, consider hiring it out. I mow my own grass. I like doing that. But there are certain things where I want to buy my time back. Again, I think we all catch ourselves doing this, from simple home repairs to very complex projects. But the real question isn't, can you do it? Of course you can. Absolutely you can do it. Hey, we have YouTube. Everything's on YouTube. But the real question is, can I afford to buy back my time, especially for tasks that maybe you don't love doing? And this concept, well, it's been around since biblical times. There's a verse in Ephesians that talks about redeeming the time. And when you look at the translation, redeem literally means to buy back. Sometimes the best use of money is buying back your most precious resource, time. Wisdom number 8, prepare for higher expenses early in retirement. Here's something that surprises almost everyone. Expenses often go up in the first few years of retirement, not down. Why? Because it's finally time for those go-go years that we've been postponing. The time to travel, to do home repairs, to do stuff. Here's a most recent example from one of our clients. They budgeted $10,000 a month for retirement expenses. That's high for some and that's normal for others. The first year, actually, they spent significantly more. Travel, new experiences, and the mindset of now or never, it all adds up very quickly. So start tracking your expenses now. Real data beats guessing every time. And you'll thank yourself later in retirement planning if you get very precise here. So understand what you're spending and what you might spend in retirement. And I think that'll put you in a better position to win, at least according to the 70-year-olds I speak with. Wisdom number 9, prioritize and nurture your relationships. One of our early retirees decided to focus on rebuilding connections he lost during his busy career-building years. He reached out to his best man from wedding, his college roommate, somebody he lost touch with. After 20 years of silence, they picked it up as if they just had talked yesterday, like true friends do, right? Multiple clients in their 70s and 80s said the same thing. I wish I had nurtured my relationships more in my 50s. Don't wait to reconnect when you're in retirement with old friends or deepen family bonds. Do that now. These relationships become the foundation for your joy and support later in years. Wisdom number 10, plan what you're running towards, not what you're just running away from. Finally, here's the mistake that creates the most retirement regret. Many successful professionals spend so much time and energy escaping that stressful career that they forget to plan what they're moving towards. 6 months into retirement, These same people often feel bored or even purposeless. The relief of stopping working isn't enough to create fulfillment. So start exploring now. What did you love in your teens, in your 20s, in your 30s that got pushed aside? What would you like to do now? What would you like to do Monday morning? Because suddenly, every morning becomes a Saturday morning. Retirement isn't just about leisure, it's about purpose. So here are some questions worth writing down for your next quiet morning with coffee or tea when you're thinking about retirement. What activities generally renew your energy? Number 2, what relationships deserve more of your time and attention? Number 3, what would you do if money were not a factor at all? Number 4, what experiences are you postponing that you shouldn't? Number 5, what does purpose look like for you beyond your career? And number 6, have you liked and subscribed to our channel? We release a video every week. Okay, that's a little selfish, but make sure you do that. Look, your best stage of life is ahead of you, not behind you. The wisdom from those who walk this path before you is incredibly clear. It's never too late to make different choices. Here's what I'd recommend. Pick 2 or 3 insights from today that resonate strongly. Write those down. These aren't just nice ideas. They're roadmaps from people who've already navigated the journey you're about to take. My firm, Martin Wealth, we help successful people just like you transition from accumulation phase to the fulfillment stage of life. If you want to learn more about what we do, visit our website at martinwealth.com. Remember, growth doesn't come from experience alone. It comes from reflecting on others' experiences and of your own. You have incredible years ahead. Make them count. Hey, thanks for watching. We'll be back next week. Take care.